It does so much for you if you have it. You know what I mean?
And Frostless can be a pretty fast Pokemon, so getting access to those fast Aurora Veils can be very useful. And also clicking the Blizzard and Shadow Ball, offering pretty good offensive
pretty
output as
good.
well. So we're going to be getting into game number 1 of round number 3 at the Balance Patch friendly tournament. It's going to be Farigiraf and Sylveon in the lead for Adam. We also got the Frostlass Sneasler. So Adam already trying to play a little bit defensive, trying to set up that trick room with the Farigiraf.
Yes, sir.
While Calvin is trying to play a little bit more aggressive, having this Sneasler and Frostlass going for really strong, super effective moves.
What makes Farigiraf so threatening is that you just cannot fake out that slot. So you're either going to put 2 attacks into it, hopefully to knock it out, or you're going to have to deal with Trick Room. And honestly, I don't think this lead can do it. Already, we're resistant, actually immune to that Shadow Ball from Frostlass here because of our normal typing on Farigiraf. So now you have to have another way. We can't do it with a spread move Blizzard either because it's going to be reduced damage because it's hitting 2 Pokemon. So how do you deal, or how do you get ready for the Trick Room that is inevitably coming down? Maybe we target into the Sylveon. Sylveon might go for a Protect here. That is usually an option that we see earlier on. But locking in right now, we have the confirmed Mega appearance from Mega Frostlass, and we're going to the races right now.
Yeah, let's see the Mega Frostlass. What's it going to do? The Snow Warning is going to activate. So we got Snow for at least the first part of the game. Dark Claw going to go in. Not going to be enough to activate the Sistrus Berry. No additional status effects here on Dire. We still have the Blizzard hitting both Pokemon. Farigiraf did take that hit, and a critical hit on the Sylveon, doing a decent amount of damage, just a little bit above 50%, as the Sylveon is going to go for that super charged Hyper Voice because of that pixelated ability, and the Farigiraf gets the move it wants off, sending up the Trick Room, reversing the speed order.
Now, I want to pay attention here. We did not double or even go for a single attack into this here Sylveon, of course. So Sylveon, now, it could have taken a Dire Claw here just from Sneasler, but because it opted to attack there, you got maximum value. Your opponent did not do anything. Now we're seeing, oh no, the Helping Hand. This is going to be a this might be a knockout on 2 Pokemon. That's a double knockout, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, the double knockout was helped, but the Helping Hand on Farigiraf, we already saw how much it did on the first time around. And Calvin did not set up the Aurora Veil, so you did not get the extra protections that you are granted. So that is a double knockout on Calvin's side of the field, losing the Mega already and a very strong Pokemon in that Sneasler. Now you're forced to bring in 2 Pokemon in the back. The Garchomp is going to be weak to the Sylveon, and you also have this Basculegion that is more than likely faster than the Sylveon, depending on how it's trained. So it could just get blown up here.
I got to say, I think Calvin was on the right money, right? It's going for the attack into Sylveon when you predict a Protect coming out is difficult, right? We don't know. That's a part of the mind game. We don't know what's going to be happening. The safer play probably would have been going for Aurora Veil and then maybe going for an attack into Sylveon, or maybe going for an attack into Farigiraf if you felt like the Protect was coming. At least we have the back end of the Aurora Veil to maybe mitigate that second wave of damage coming in. But because of that, Adam was able to get a little greedy.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we go again. The same playbook is going to be appearing in this turn. Another Helping Hand with the Sylveon. Basculegion just trying to preserve a little bit of its health, trying to stall out this Trick Room, going for the Protect, and the Sylveon going to be using that supercharged, pixelate, boosted Hyper Voice once more. We do have the Roselia Berry, but is it enough to tank the hit fully? And it is. It's going to be about 75% HP taken onto that Garchomp. Going to be trying to retaliate with a Earthquake, so we get some decent damage into both the Farigiraf and the Sylveon. This might be enough to get a Pokemon. It's not enough onto the Sylveon. The Sylveon holds on at 7 HP.
Sylveon built like a tank, baby. We out here throwing out these Hyper Voices.
Absolutely.
You ain't gonna stop us, buddy. And then, of course, we got another Helping Hand edition in here coming through. We clapping it up for this Hyper Voice coming through. Of course, we're gonna give an encore to our beautiful songstress.
Yeah, and the Garchomp gonna go for a Protect, trying to keep itself safe this turn. Gonna be protecting that. Basculegion going to have to take that hit, and look how much damage it just did. That's not even a critical hit. It did almost 80%. Does get a little bit of HP back due to the Sistrus Berry. It's going to have to go for a Wave Crash into the Farigiraf. It's going to go down. So this does open up the ability for the Basculegion to click an Aqua Jet into the Sylveon spot because there is no more Armor Tail active. So this opens up a little bit more. You have to be careful. We've only seen 2 Pokemon on Adam's side. We don't know what's in the back. We still have a Mega Pokemon available in the Charizard or the Tyranitar.
How many turns of Trick Room do you even have left?
One
Dude,
more.
one more. So it's like it's not even that safe for you yet.
Exactly.
Aqua Jet here being an option is really huge. But we have this teammate coming in. It's going to be Whimsicott. How interesting. Now, Whimsicott is going to be in a prime position. One turn of Trick Room left means that we can go for something like Tailwind after this is over. And that will set us up to be even faster.
And something to note, the Whimsicott does have Encore. So if the Whimsicott is able to get the Encore off into both Pokemon, it could just lock them down for the rest of the game. The Garchomp trying to go for a double protect does not get it there. Aqua Jet is going to be used into that Sylveon.
Nice,
Let's see what
nice.
happens. Where did the Whimsicott target down? It does have access to Moonblast. It is going to be targeted into the Basculin Legion spot. How is it trained? And it's going to be enough for a KO. Basculin Legion going to go down. That's 3 Pokemon down for Calvin. Only has the Garchomp left, and Snow and Trick Room both end this turn.
Now, of course, the dimensions have in fact ended, but that does not mean Tailwind cannot be a factor coming in. Charizard coming on the other side now. Now, Charizard's a very powerful Pokemon in its own right. I'm not certain Garchomp might be able to do this 2v1 situation, especially with as little HP as he has. I don't think he's going to be able to clean this one up.
Yeah, and the Whimsicott does have access to Encore, so you can Encore your opponent into that Protect and let the Charizard just sweep the rest of the game if you want. It's going to be a pretty clean GG's. Unfortunately for Adam, he did have to reveal the last Pokemon in this match is going to be that Mega Charizard Y. If you were able to hold on, you could have potentially held that information. Did he bring the T-Tar for the Trick Room mode, or did he bring the Charizard for something a little bit later to pair with the Whimsicott? Charizard Y going to be going for the Solar Beam. Guaranteed accuracy in the sun. Going to be hitting that Garchomp. Going to be the classic GG. It's going to be 1-0 for Adam.
Now, that was very interesting, man. I love that pin that you brought up earlier, too. Why not just go for Protect to be safe? Well, I don't want to be encored into that. It's a darned if you do, darned if you don't situation. There was really no answer there for you. So we have to start thinking about game 2.
I think it's important to note, I know a lot of times it's always said if you have Trick Room, always target the Trick Room attacker. But did you notice how Adam did not protect on Sylveon?
No.
He was ready to let it go down.
Yes.
It had taken a lot of damage just from a critical hit Blizzard. And now, if you had just done Dire Claw into Sylveon, you actually would have knocked it out. Forced either Charizard Y, which doesn't really want to be in Trick Room, mind you, or Whimsicott, which is not the most prevalent of attackers.
Absolutely.
It would basically be GG's from there. But you also have to consider, if the Sylveon does go for Protect, then you're not able to actually
Get any
hit
damage,
anything.
yes,
You could.
yes.
That's why you try to get the damage onto that.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a lose-lose situation. You want to be able to get the Sylveon, but it's a tough call to make.
Like I said, it was a bold strategy for Adam, but it worked out for him. We take those.
Absolutely.
Honestly, now it's going to put a lot of pressure on Calvin. Is that Protect coming?
Yeah.
Are they going to get that? Now we have to be very particular. Honestly, I don't know how different this game would have turned out if Aurora Veil was the first option we went for. Helping him Hyper Voice from a Sylveon is an incredibly powerful move, even though it's split and does 75% damage because it's hitting 2 Pokemon. It's still a lot of damage on a helping hand. So we'll have to see what the adjustments made are for Calvin here.
Okay, game number 2 is going to be live. It's going to be interesting to see how Calvin decides to adapt to this matchup. He did have a decent lead. Farigiraf. No Farigiraf. It's going to be Whimsicott and Charizard, so a very sun-oriented hyper offense core.
What an
Versus a
excellent call.
Farigiraf, or no,
Yes.
Kingambit, sorry, and Frostlass. So we have 2 different Megas that want to Mega and get that weather up, while you also have this Kingambit, which can offer pretty good offensive output in that Sucker Punch, but it's also staring down a Charizard, so it's going to be
Yes.
having to deal with those Fire-type damages.
Now, depending on how Speed is trained for either of these Pokemon, the weather that goes last is obviously going to be first. But this is a Charizard versus a Frostlass. Frostlass are notoriously trained to be extremely fast Pokemon. So if we go for a Mega Evolution here like we are right now, I don't think we would be locked into a Blizzard, or excuse me, Snow Warning situation, because Charizard's going to Mega Evolve right afterwards. And then Snow Warning will be dissipated by that sun. And here it is. Immediately as I call it out, the sun is going to come into play, unfortunately, because you're a faster Pokemon. So I hope you didn't click Aurora Veil.
And let's see what happens. It's going to be a protecting the Kingambit, so not trying to get hit by a Heat Wave. Who's going to be next to act? It's going to be that Tailwind, so more than likely the
Tailwind.
Charizard is going to be next to move. What move did it click?
It's gotta be a Heat Wave
More
coming
than likely,
in.
it's going to be Heat
Yup.
Wave. Is it going to connect onto the Frost Blast? It does hit into Protect, and it does hit into the Frost Blast. It's going to be doing super effective damage. And goodbye,
That's
Frost
a
Blast.
one-hit
It has
knockout.
melted down like Frosty the Snowman. It is gone from this battle, and that is your Mega gone from this match.
Oh man, I see a puddle on the floor. Where'd that come from?
Yo, you don't want to see that. We do got Garchomp switching into this match. Going to be staring down both the Whimsicott and the Charizard.
Garchomp is not in a bad position here. We can start going
No.
for some rock slides. We can threaten a little something on this Charizard, but losing that Mega in the first turn of the game is so rough. I really wish I knew what move that Froslass chose to lock into, because I want to know how that would have impacted the game. But unfortunately, we're in this situation now. Heat Wave coming out. That's going to connect to both Pokemon. Another one-hit knockout into that King Gambit. If we're going down, that's all on this Garchomp right now. I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, I have to imagine that thinking about leads, Calvin wanted to deny the Trick Room because the Frograph was so threatening with the Sylveon.
Yes,
You could use those
yes.
Kowtow Cleaves in really good order to stop the Trick Room from going up. But Adam adjusting very well, deciding to go into a very fire-type heavy offense, deciding to absolutely delete the 2 fire-weak Pokemon. We do see the Garchomp trying to go for the Rock Slide, and the most unfortunate miss of all time.
Oh, no.
We do see the miss on the Rock Slide on the Charizard Y spot. That Garchomp is not going to get any damage into that spot. Basculegion is going to be coming in, but because the sun is still up for a few more turns, those Wave Crashes and Aqua Jets are going to be doing half of what they're normally going to be doing.
Yes. Now, this is the reality of this meta, right? Most people are teching into multiple playstyles. We have Trick Room and usually some form of ski control on the teams that are being seen. We had the Trick Room option first one. Your opponent's conditioned into thinking, hey, we're going to do some Trick Room stuff. But then again, here we are with Whimsicott. Tailwind. Now I'm knocking things out. Turn 1. It's a different ball game.
Yep, and here comes the Moonblast into that Garchomp spot. Already ate that Roselli Berry. It's going to be felled by that attack. Garchomp going down, and Adam only has one more Pokemon in the Basculegion. It did survive that Solar Beam, but we do have the fully powered,
nice.
max output Last Respects, able to take out that Whimsicott. Charizard Y still healthy.
It's not over just yet. We still have this one extra Pokemon to come in here to help us out, but it's still looking pretty dire. 1 versus 3? I don't know. And of course, I think that Tailwind is still in effect here. So we're not even going to be the fastest thing on the board. Aqua Jet will not even crack the halfway mark on this Charizard, as Solar Beam is the option taken. And I do believe this is the end of the game too.
Yeah, that's at least good, some information. So if they do end up playing in a top cut scenario, you know how much the Aqua Jet could do. So definitely something to keep an eye out for, so you know that in a neutral situation, it is not going to be able to pick up the 1-hit KO. But it looks like Adam is going to be winning in pretty convincing 2-0
Very
fashion.
convincing.
Was able to basically clear both of Calvin's leads in 2 turns.
It was literally 2 turns. The first game, such a fast game. It
Yeah.
was just like speed running essentially. But both players played very well. They played to the best of their ability. I think Calvin was not ready for that kind of adjustment in game 2, and that tripped him up tremendously. You know, you're locked in. Okay, Farigiraf is going to come back in. I cannot deal with that. But now it's a completely different lead.
Yeah, and Adam is really confident when he's a player, because he's been at the top levels of multiple other like competitive games, so he understands like the mindset that needs to go into it. He's been playing Pokemon for a while, especially in the Scarlet and Violet era, so recognizing the position that you won with Trick Room pretty well, but it could have gone south, and then switching up your leads to bring in something that could just absolutely destroy Trick Room was just such a good adjustment on his part, even though Calvin was trying to counter-adjust for that. So we can hopefully get to see him both later on in this tournament.
Yeah, we will hopefully see them again later on. But right now, we're going to be taking a step back. But don't leave, because we have more content coming for you in the next few rounds. We'll see you later.